Thank you for getting the time for us. Busy.
Very much appreciated.
Thank you for well, this is
Had
the
magic stars for dinner.
had Magic Stars for dinner
bless
and
you.
Pringles. Magic Stars and Pringles.
What flavour?
Ready salted. Yeah, I've learned to keep things plain before a podcast because I'm
Fair enough.
talking and breathing in
Oh, I understand.
this direction.
Sure.
So yeah, the amount of times
didn't
I've
think
had
that
like a
through.
curry or something just beforehand and then
Yeah.
instantly regretted it because you become hyper aware, I think,
Yeah.
in these environments.
Should have prepared for that.
You're all
That's why you
good.
want to sit there, isn't it?
Yeah.
But today we've got chocolate cake.
yes,
Yes.
we do.
So we're here today to talk about your podcast,
Yeah.
2 Chocolate Cakes and Their Mistakes.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the Martin Talk Show
Thank
and sharing. And so tell me, guys, why have you started up a podcast? It's really fun, by the way. I'm enjoying it. But why do it? Why would we do this thing?
Well,
go.
I think, first of all, we kind of just did it to have a place to talk because both of us have wanted to do a podcast for a really long time. And we decided that actually, if we just do one together, we have someone to talk to about just life in general. And I think that's kind of like my main reason for wanting to do it. And then Shannon came in with her gut feeling of what she wanted to do, which I'll let her explain.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, we both were just like, oh, I've always wanted to do a podcast. And then it was like, oh, me too. And then it was like, should we just do it? Like, we didn't really have a base or anything. We were just like, let's do it. Because we love listening to them anyway, like loads of different ones. So, and then once we did a few episodes, we kind of came to a realization that like, we kind of had a proper meaning to our podcast. And we're very like, we like to be very real people, if that makes any
very
sense.
real.
Honest, realistic, normal, as normal can be people, I guess. So 2 chocolate cakes and their mistakes. We basically talk about the mistakes we made in the week or in the past, any mistake, and kind of make it known that it's okay to make a mistake, and it's literally what we do in life. And we eat a bit of cake with it too.
Cake along the way, and you brought cake here today,
We brought cake.
which I appreciate. We've got the cake, and we're gonna dig into this cake at some point.
Yes.
But before we dig into the cake, I want to know a little bit like how you are so brave in your sharing, how you managed to open up like that, because it took me personally a long time in life to be able to feel free enough to share. So how did you guys get there? I wonder if there's something in the doing this together helped.
I think we kind of as she said it was like natural anyway. But I think because we are just such, it's very strange because we literally started the podcast as we became friends. So it was like the podcast has grown with our friendship,
Amazing.
which it just felt natural.
So
And
there was no friendship prior. You guys didn't know each other prior, and it wasn't.
not really.
Not really, no, because we met in like a rehearsal room and then just like kind of bonded in that way, but still wasn't like, we didn't know everything about each other. And then we just was like, let's do a podcast. And then we learned so much more about each other doing the podcast also. So
And we learned that we're really similar.
Yeah.
Like, the way that we think is quite similar.
Yeah,
And
it's
things like that.
crazy.
But I think that's it. And I think the sharing side of it just comes with the way that we both are as people. It clicks and it makes it. We do it we do our podcast from the shed, pretty
Yes,
much.
yeah.
So we're always in that one area, and it's just kind of become our little safe place where we
Yeah.
can just talk about whatever we want. And it's like we forget the camera's there, I think.
yeah, because we're just chatting together.
Yeah, I've kind of come. I had no idea what I was doing with this in the beginning, and sometimes I still don't. But I've come to the conclusion recently that these are conversations on purpose, and there's some kind of like power behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Does that
Yeah, a little
resonate
bit.
with you? Do you feel that with what you're doing?
I think so. I think we always have a reason for what we're talking about. And we kind of feel like the reasons that we're having that conversation is, number one, that we feel like other people feel the same way that we do, but also if both of us can talk about something, there's obviously a reason. Like we're obviously
Yeah, I just think like I feel like I've never really thought of it of being brave to just say what you feel, but then I guess I don't know, I've never really thought about it like that, if I'm honest. But I always think like life is tough,
Yeah.
and we need to see a bit more reality than what is
The way that it's been presented.
the way that things are shown online, especially, is not exactly what is happening in the real world. And I do it too. I post all of my best things on social media, but I'm trying really hard, and I think Emy is on the same level as me. Like, to really try and be as real as possible. I would love it if someone else was in a place where I used to be, and they're like, oh, someone else is the same as me. Someone else is dealing with something that I thought I was on my own, you know?
Yes,
I feel
100%.
that's so important to share that. When you're constantly seeing, you know, all the great things everyone's achieving, sometimes the best thing to achieve is just getting out of bed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
and
think that's...
I think the social media world definitely lived in that space for a long time, didn't it? It lived
Yeah.
in that space of, this is my shiny, perfect life, and I'm going on holidays every 5 minutes, and I'm
Yeah.
earning loads of money, and success. And it doesn't feel like that for most of us.
No.
So I think social media started to make us all feel a little bit down.
Yeah.
I think, sorry, I was just going to say, I think like we really try not to, like when we go to film, we just do it however we are that day as well. So I think it's nice to be, like, it's refreshing to be able to see that in a podcast.
And I really like how you've started to take it out on the road.
Yeah.
That is really, like, literally out on the road, like
Literally out on the road.
like we're getting in the car, we're going to the theatre,
Yes.
and you're going to come with me.
Yes, absolutely. We love that. We're going to do more of that as
Yeah.
well, because you chat when you're on the way to somewhere, and also like you can talk about that subject and what happens in real daily life, like that. I hope you don't mind me saying, when we went, like, we had a few mess ups that day.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we went to see Legally Blonde, we had a few. I lost my glasses. Emy hurt herself. We had a
twisted my
day.
ankle.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and I'm glad that we could be honest in that. And, like, you know, I didn't obviously show Emy falling over in the video,
We did catch
but
it
we
on
spoke
camera.
about it. You know, and it's just real. It's just honest. And the thing is, we don't have the perfect, you know, technology yet. But I think we still give enough information that it's still important. You know.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I see with a lot of new podcasters. They get caught up on that technology thing. I recently did a little course here of, like, how to start a podcast.
Yeah.
And that was the big question from the day, like, how do I start with technology? And it was stopping them from just getting going, because I guess all this can look and feel intimidating. But you guys have done it very similar to how I started. Started with nothing. Like, started with episode 1 is my mobile phone.
Yeah.
Like, episode 1, there is a microphone there, but it's just there for look. Like, it doesn't work.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. And it for me, it was the only way to get moving.
Yeah.
It was the only
Sometimes
way
you
to.
do.
Yeah.
It's like that with anything.
I mean, we've had a lot of struggles with technology.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, when you listen to it, it's not perfect.
No.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not shiny and it's not, like, perfect. But actually, that's kind of us anyway.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to have something that reflects us in our work, whether it gets shiny in the future or not.
Yeah.
No, and I think, you know, make it exist first, and polish it up later.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
just do it's anything creative. You just have to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if that means the audio's a little bit bad at this moment in time, you can tidy that up later. Once you get people working for you, once you get editors on board and other
Exactly.
people doing
Isn't
different
it?
things, that's like a later on down the road thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm at nearly 500 episodes, and at this point, I'm starting to go back and re-edit the covers for the thumbnails.
Okay. Yeah.
I spoke to a producer of podcasts recently, of some big podcasts, and her advice to me was that my thumbnails weren't telling a story.
Right.
And I was like, I kind of knew that,
Yeah.
because in the beginning I had like a format and I was just doing what I could put together. But now it's like, no, I know what the story is to each of those podcasts.
Yeah.
So I can now make the covers look a little bit more enticing. So I'm now at that polishing stage.
Yeah.
But it's taken me a while to get there.
It takes time. I mean, like, we're literally at the beginning of it, and
Yeah.
we don't have a clue what we're doing. Like, we don't have a clue.
We just turn on
We've
and hope.
we just turn the mic and hope for the best, to be honest. But I'm glad that you said that about just starting, like just do it, even if you don't have the correct, all the perfect technology, because I think people need to hear that. I think if I would have heard that and I listened to this, I would have been like, okay, I might as well.
Give it a
I'm
go.
going to give it a go.
Do it.
Because that actually just inspired me to do something, and now I'm like, I'm going to do it now.
Good. Yeah,
Because-
and there's episodes as well that haven't been put out into the world. Practice episodes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's always someone else recently asked me how do I start, and he's like, and I just don't want to share it with everyone because I don't want their criticism. I don't want people to tell me what they think of it as I put it out. And I said,
Yeah.
well, don't. Like, you don't have to share it to do the thing.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
that isn't actually part of creating something.
Mm-hmm.
It's good if you can. I think that's a mark of, that's the next step if you're brave enough to put it out in the world. But you can sit down, you can press record, and you can talk to some friends
Yeah.
and see how you feel.
And then, like 5 years in the future, you might go, "Oh, what's that on that computer that I forgot
Yeah.
about?" And then you can release it then when you're not so precious about it
Yeah.
as well.
True.
Perfect.
Exactly.
So, is there I know it's early days for you, but is there a hope, a dream of where this can go?
Well, I think we've always said we're never aiming to be anything big and flashy and special or anything like that. That's never been kind of one of our hopes in a way. But I mean, always, truthfully, there's always something there that you're like, you hope this continues and that we get the better microphones, cameras, lights, all of that jazz.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I don't think we're that bothered about how many people were to watch. Like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, it'd be nice if we could, earn a bit of money from it or something. Obviously, that would be lovely. But that I don't think it's necessarily our goal as such. It's more of I would personally, and I think you'd say the same, want to just reach to the people that can listen and really, again, not feel alone and can just enjoy, sit in the car, have a smile or a laugh on your own while you're traveling to work
Yeah.
or something like that.
And that's what
That's
I did
all I
last time
wish.
I listened in. Last time I listened in, it was almost like I had two friends on the back seat
Yeah,
as I was driving. That's kind of all it needs to
yeah,
be.
absolutely. That's why I love it.
Yeah, and that's a great philosophy. Even if like only one person listens in,
Yeah,
that's great, and it can change the world for that one person.
yeah, exactly. That's what I think is important.
And I think if one person kind of hears what we're saying and feels like it changes them in some way or feels not so alone and not so confused about something that we've said, that's another thing that we're always kind of aware of, that if we feel alone in something, I'm sure there's someone else out there in the world that feels that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think, like, another thing is you mentioned the bravery thing. Like, because we are being brave and because we are just saying the raw things of our mistakes that we make, which, people get, what's the word? Not attacked, but penalised for if they make a mistake on social media or, where I think it's so, we don't realise how normal it is. We make mistakes every single day. And obviously there's a line, we know what that line is of like making a mistake that's a bit too like fun, we know that line. But it just happens all the time. And we make mistakes on our podcast and we might mention something and then we might be like, oh, I'm sorry. And it's like, no, don't apologise, you made a mistake. Like, it's just, we want to make it so, so much more normalised because it's really, I just don't think it is normalised. Mistakes, we do it so much.
I don't know what this was like for you guys, but when I was at school, mistakes were the worst thing in the world.
Oh, yeah.
That was the school system was there just punishing you, telling you you're a failure every time you made a mistake.
Yeah.
Whereas since I've come out of school, I've learned from all of those mistakes. They might have been hard to go through.
Yeah.
They might have felt really bad at the time, but everything has progressed from a mistake, from an error.
Absolutely.
I think so. I've got big things about education, the education system and things like that. I'm not a huge fan of it all. And I think that you're made to feel like you need to fit in this box. And actually, not all of us fit in that box.
I think very few of us do.
Exactly.
I think we're all individuals. And
Absolutely.
We've all got different talents, different skills. But yeah, it's a system that's designed for one.
Yeah.
And so it's very difficult for a lot of us.
And I think that's also what we try and put out as well. Like, nobody's perfect. That's in our little intro song. Like, no one is perfect. We all make mistakes and we're all our own selves.
Yeah.
as much as it's hard to think sometimes. Even though we sit here saying this, like I still go home and like, oh my God, I can't believe I made this mistake. And, you know, but we do it.
Yeah.
It happens.
No, it's still difficult. I don't think making mistakes ever gets easier.
No way. No.
But that
But it is okay to make them.
it's okay to make them, and I think this opportunity that we have now with podcasting for others to listen in, and one of you said it about not being alone in this, not being alone in the mistakes. You're not the only one that's made that same error, and that's definitely what I got from podcasts before I was doing it. One of my favourite podcasts is Jay Shetty.
Okay.
And he will often go to those places in his podcast, the errors that people have made in life. And I remember when I was going through a particularly bad period of time, I was constantly listening to that for some kind of reassurance, for some kind of how badly did I muck up, and then going, no, it's not actually. This can still continue and move forward from here.
Yeah, definitely. Like, what's the worst possible thing? If that's something that's going to happen, it's not going to, you know, when you think about something that you made a mistake for, is it going to matter in a year or in a couple of months? And usually not really.
No.
You know.
My mum always used to teach me that it's when you make a mistake or when something happens that you think, oh my God, it's the end of the world. She's always like, and what? So you say what it is. So let's say you're like, oh no, this has happened. And then it's like, and what? Then all you do is you go through it over and over and over again until you suddenly realise that nothing really matters.
Yeah.
No.
Like it's just like an and.
You haven't got an answer anymore.
You just, and I think that for me, that's always been something that I've kind of locked into. It's like, okay, that's happened. Let's move on from it now.
Yeah. What a beautiful little note to remember. And what? Nice and simple, isn't it? A nice simple way to review the situation and just go, and what? And just keep going until you get to the end.
Literally. And you will get to the end. There literally won't be an answer.
Yeah.
And that's when you're like, okay.
No answer is an answer, really.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I want to go back, actually. I want to go back to the beginning of your friendship.
Yes.
I want to go back to what did that look like? What was that moment for you? You said you was part of a theatre group. You're doing a show together, rehearsals.
Yeah.
How did the meet cute moment happen for your friendship?
So we did a show last year in Greece musical, and it was the first time we met. Never met before.
No.
I mean, do you remember an exact moment? She'll remember more than me.
I don't think there was. I think that we were friends with each other in the rehearsals.
Yeah.
But then there was one night when we all went out to Spoons.
Oh yes,
to
that
good
was
old
it.
Weatherspoons. And for some I think we'd always knew that there was something a little bit more that we hadn't been exploring, like as a friend, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then suddenly Shannon was just like, really want some chocolate cake. And then and it was like everyone was talking, so I shouldn't have heard it, but I just heard it, and we just suddenly clicked.
And it was like, we
I'm
both like
getting
chocolate
goosebumps. But yeah, we just suddenly clicked, and it was just like a moment where like we just shared these chocolate cakes, and it was just became this lovely thing. And then after that, it just felt like we knew each other forever.
Yeah, literally. It was like when we was in rehearsals, it was always like if I did something or I started to feel a bit anxious, it's like I could turn around and she was looking at me, she knew. And it's so weird. It still happens now. Like we're in a rehearsal for a show at the moment, and it literally like if I have this weird feeling that she's like something's wrong, and I'm like, and she looks at me, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
We just give a little like thumbs up or a little okay sign.
Yeah.
It's like a little thing between us. And I think it's just because I think we're both very empathetic in that way that really we do that with everybody naturally anyway. But there's just something there for us
something
that's
just
connected
clicked.
us.
And it sounds to me like that you instantly there was a connection, and I think as well in life, I've only discovered this recently. You can actually make connections at any point in life.
Yeah.
For a long time, for me, I thought that was something we only did when we were young. But actually, when that happens when we're older, it's a little bit more special, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It really is. It's crazy. I mean, I didn't even have any, not to be sad, but like didn't really have any close friends. I was very liked my own personal space. So it's so nice because I have my wonderful partner and I have my support system, but Emmy's just on like it's a completely different thing. Like, oh, it's just the best.
Yeah.
I love her. She's the best.
I love it too.
It's great. But we also just to put in that's why we called our podcast Two Chocolate Cakes.
Okay.
because
You are
we
two
bonded over the chocolate cake.
Oh, not because you two are the chocolate
No,
cake.
no.
Like,
Well, I mean,
it's
it was like a metaphor. Like, we're not actually chocolate cakes.
Yeah, sorry to
Just
ruin
to let
it
you know.
for you.
But yeah, because we both love chocolate cakes and it rhymes with mistakes. It's just perfect.
But it was weird because we didn't even have
We
the
didn't have a
idea for
name.
we didn't have the idea for mistakes either. So it was
No, it just happened.
it just so happened that it all fell into place.
Yeah.
Which feels really strange.
Yeah,
that
it's
happened.
just really like it wasn't even thought about. Like I think we were looking for because obviously we wanted to just do a podcast, and then we was looking for a name. We just couldn't really come up with anything. And then I don't remember which one of us mentioned to do with chocolate cakes. I think it was you. And then I don't know. It was just it. Yeah, it was so natural. It's bizarre. It's bizarre that happened.
If you listen back to our voice notes, it tells the
Yeah.
whole story.
it tells a story.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a podcast series there within voice notes.
You have mentioned that.
Yeah,
we
you've
have.
got- yeah.
Yeah, there'll just be some funny quality.
But I wonder if that's the stuff that maybe you can't share for the world, the voice notes. Because I don't know if everything's for sharing, is it? Is
No.
everything for sharing?
I mean, no, I don't think so. I mean, it's up to you. Share what you want to share. I mean, I personally, I'm not really. I don't know. Are you?
I feel like you're quite an open book.
I'm a very open book. I feel like even when I say this to you all the time. Like, if I'm not feeling great, you'll know. But I won't be rude about it. I'll just be, you'll just know. Like, I'm not really one to, put a massive smile on if I'm not feeling the best, unless I have to for my job, obviously. But I'll, if someone said like, "Are you okay?" Like, not really. Like something happened in my day. Like, I'm very open about that. I don't really hide things unless it's something really, really like very sensitive. Something happened to someone else or something. Then I guess that's private. I think if it's to do with somebody else, then that's private. But if it's your own. If it's my own thing, I'm
Your
quite happy
story, yeah.
I'm quite happy to share.
That's very similar with me with this, that I won't ever go into other people's things. I think that's a danger, and I had that recently on the podcast with a guest where someone started talking about someone else, so much so that there's 15 minutes of the podcast that I've just had to remove because it's not fair on that other person that they're not here to tell their version.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
events.
I couldn't.
There is
speak for someone
legalities
else.
within that as well.
Yeah, true.
There's defamation laws that you could get in trouble with because we are broadcasting this. We are putting these onto YouTube,
Yeah.
Spotify, etc.
It's out there to
But yeah,
everybody.
so once you talk about someone else, then you're opening up a legal can of worms as well. So
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on and things. But I think because we haven't had very many guests on our podcast yet.
No.
We've had a couple, and I think the way that we're dealing with it at the moment is we're making sure that we kind of chat with them before and after, have a little check-in.
I should be better at that. I have this thing where I just like to sit here and go. Often I've found that sometimes that before the podcast we'll have these big chats and start talking about stuff that should be in the podcast.
Yeah.
So when I get here, I'm like, yep, just have this all set up and we just run.
Yeah.
But it means that things like that happen. That's a mistake for me where I've had to now heavily edit an episode because it's all became about someone else.
Yeah. But I think it's also easier for us because the people we have had on our podcast we already are very close to and already know. So we can have those conversations. I mean, sometimes it's harder if you're not familiar with someone. You don't really know what they're going to say, do you? So
no. So if I don't know them, I've had no previous connection, I send out a release form.
Yeah.
So I've gone on my website. There's a form that they fill out, and it's all there in writing.
Yeah.
And they have to note that they've read, not to talk about others.
Yeah.
And that that there's a
I like that. I think that's so important.
It keeps it. Yeah, it makes it formal, and it makes sure that if they do that, if they do something wrong, you're kind of protected in a way.
Yeah. And that is kind of one of the things that seems to be easy for people to do as well. Talk about other people, and I wouldn't. I could get in. I've had my rants about gossip and things.
Yeah.
Not that it could be gossip. You could be talking, I mean, I'd obviously talk highly of someone, and that'd be it. But I wouldn't speak for someone. I wouldn't speak ill of someone. I just But that's just my opinion.
I think naturally for me is that's not a space that I naturally go into, is talking about others. So it's only
No.
only if the guest is that way inclined
Yeah.
that it can. There's that danger of it going there. It's only been one or two times out of the many podcasts that I've done.
Yeah.
But it's good to protect yourself and
Yeah, definitely.
do a better
It's
job
probably
than
one
I
of the
do.
biggest things that you can get in trouble for, to be fair, online
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah, because you know there's a lot of misinformation out there.
Exactly.
So we can say stuff that's not necessarily true. You know, all the politicians are doing that every single day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the area that I think is like the line of a no-go.
And I also think that people can say things that are true to them, which might not be true in real life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they might really wholeheartedly believe that, but really it's maybe not quite that way
Yeah.
from the outside, if that makes sense.
And when you get political, I guess, is
Yeah.
where that is,
Yeah.
where people have got a left-leaning political view or a right-leaning political
Yeah.
view. There's often like a story behind why they think and feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always have a thing of like, I'm very, we finish the podcast with, I usually say 3 things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually say 3 things to finish it off, and then Emy finishes on be you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I always start with be open-minded. That is like my main quote always. I think being open-minded is like with the having opinions about politics and everything. Like I have an opinion about it, you have a different opinion about it. Let's talk about it. We don't need to try and persuade or try and argue it. Let's just accept that that's your opinion. This is my opinion. Move on.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's how it should be.
And so you that gets implemented into every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
how
every
we-
episode, that's how we finish. So I'll say, for example, if we have like a certain theme, like for, let's say our Legally Blonde one where we was on a trip, I'd say be open-minded, go enjoy a show, be kind to yourself, and then Emma will say,
And
be
be
you.
And be you. Oh,
Yeah.
that's quite sweet.
Yeah, that's how we
And it's
finish
kind of
it.
like a way to kind of like wrap it up, I guess, and
Yeah.
kind of like this is what you've kind of discovered within this space.
Yeah.
And and to always come back to that. I have things that I always come back to on the podcast. And I guess they've developed over time of all the different mistakes and all the different
Yeah.
flows of the conversations. One of the things that I've started to discover actually is that we're doing it on this podcast. We're talking about podcasting. I'm trying not to talk about podcasting on the podcast.
I mean, it's a bit hard to when
it's a bit hard to because this literally is a definitive podcasting episode.
Yeah.
So that's absolutely
It is,
fine.
so I think that's okay.
Yeah, but it's become like one of the main things in my life now.
Yeah.
That it's very hard for me not to talk about it.
Yeah.
Is there any things that you find like hard not to talk to, or you want to like talk around?
I think it's not.
All the money's in.
Someone was
I don't
paid.
know what that was.
It wasn't me. My phone's off.
My phone's off too.
Or maybe I turned it off.
You've
so
turned your phone on.
embarrassing.
That's a mistake you've made.
There we
today.
go.
There we go.
There
This
we
is it.
are.
I
The
thought I
phone
turned-
is still
Oh
on.
my God. He literally said, turn your phones off. And I'm one of those, wow. I'm one of those people. Turn your phone off, guys.
I think one of the. I don't think there's anything really that, in general, we kind of, or I even kind of, don't talk about. But we are like theatre people, and we did at first. We kind of went. We don't want our podcast to be about theatre.
Yeah, just about that, yeah.
We were like, that's not kind of our main goal for it. So I think that's something that we tried to not touch upon. But of course, when you're a theatre person, that's
It's hard to-
impossible.
yeah.
Yes, that's true, actually. Yeah.
Because that's our life and that's how we met as well. So, but yeah.
Yeah. When you were talking just mid there, I actually forgot what we were talking about. So I'm glad that you just reminded me. I'm so forgetful. I've forgotten again.
So we're talking
Sorry.
about that's okay.
I can forget
Do you know what?
mid-conversation.
It happens to me as well. Sometimes,
terrible.
sometimes I get lost in this space. Like when I'm in a podcast, I often feel like I'm just here.
Yeah.
That the rest
And
of
it's
the world
quite
kind of
vulnerable
goes.
as well because it's just you. with
Yeah.
somebody
For you,
else.
yeah.
That's quite scary.
Well, no,
to
but I'm
me.
always with a guest.
Yeah,
though.
but
it's never just.
you're the
it's just-
only one interviewing them.
Okay.
Whereas I've got Emy, so I can rely on her.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
So actually, that's quite brave what you're
I
doing.
think you're really brave.
That's really brave.
I definitely don't feel brave. I definitely
No,
don't.
it
No, I
definitely
definitely
is.
don't feel brave, and I definitely have those moments where, sometimes just before a podcast, I look in the mirror and be like, "You got this."
Yes.
Like I'll have a little affirmation
Yes.
moment.
We did
where-
that in
You're
the
the
car.
man.
Yeah, like
did.
it's okay. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I never feel alone.
Yeah.
I guess, I'm going to be really honest now.
Go.
Is that I once felt very alone in life.
Uh-huh.
That I felt very, I had a family and got wonderful children, and I have got a wonderful family, and I've always had good friends, but I just had this deep sense of no one really gets me. No one, I am just alone. Whereas now I don't feel that
Yeah.
because of this.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and
That's
it is.
That's lovely.
And it is. So because I've been so alone,
Yeah.
now I'm
Doesn't feel
here.
like that.
I know what being alone actually feels like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I love that. And also, like, I think talking to a camera
Mm-hmm.
or like, I always find that really soothing.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't know about you.
I
don't? Oh, I really like
I
it.
don't. I can't talk directly. I do it once on every podcast.
Oh, I can.
But I can't I go really wrong when I do that. Yeah, it goes off.
Sometimes, like, if I'm really feeling something, I'll turn the camera on and I'll speak to the camera.
Really?
Yeah, but actually, to be fair, that's not something I don't show. I wouldn't.
Is that the performer in you wanting to
I
come
don't
out?
know. I don't know. It just helps me let it out.
Mm.
Because I have a lovely support system, but for some reason, if I'm feeling it in the moment, I'll just want to talk about it on the camera.
Yeah.
But no one will ever see it.
See, I've tried to do in the beginning of this. I tried to do some TikTok videos where I talk at the camera and I'd be like, "I'm inspirational," and
Oh no, I can't do that.
and I was like, maybe that will, because I'd look at some of them kind of videos and I'd be interested, and so I'd be like, yeah, I'll kind of emulate what some other people are doing, but I just cringe at myself.
Yeah,
and
I understand.
And I never felt natural looking directly at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
We had that conversation when we started our stuff because we were like, do we want to be sitting and looking at each other or do we want to look at the camera?
Yeah.
And to begin with, it was like, no camera.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're starting to slowly turn our heads
we
and
kind
slowly
of-
wave at people and
Bit both, bit both, isn't it?
yeah.
Really.
I kind of see the cameras there as like the fly on the wall, and
Yeah.
so the audience is invited in, and they're obviously all part of this. But what's most important for me is what's happening.
Yeah.
Is what's happening here in this space.
Yeah.
And I think that gave me a lot of confidence in doing this. There was this quote from my favorite book of all time is The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. The first chapter on that book is called The Audience Comes Last. And it's about giving yourself confidence in just going, this is my creative thing that I'm doing. There will be an audience, but I'm not going to worry about them at all.
Yeah.
Like they're on all the to-do list and all the things to think about, they're at the bottom.
Which
I
is
like
not
that.
it's not what you get taught, is it, either?
No.
Like you're like it's
No.
always about what they see.
Oh yeah, customer's always right.
Customer's always right, yeah, and you've always outwardly when you're on stage, you've got to outwardly perform, project, be considerate of your angles.
Yeah.
you know,
and obviously that's where we come from. So
yeah. So you're coming from a place of theatre.
Yeah.
But now I see that as relevant for if I was to ever go back to acting, I would still be considerate of that.
Yeah.
And when I look at other actors who take that on board, who are often they really resemble and interpret a character well, it's often when they've come from a place of just being so authentic that you cannot do anything but believe they are who they're trying to portray.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I love about theatre. Yeah.
Yeah. But I say they come last. I am trying to be more considerate of them now. I am, like I say, with updating my thumbnails.
Yeah, I
and,
understand.
And trying to present the podcast in a certain way
Yeah.
for people to come on board, because the audience is now going to be my fuel. you know, they're the ones that are going to drive this forward and make this what I hope this will be and is.
I don't think we have a place where we put our audience in our brains, because I think we just imagine them as
I just imagine like
there.
they're there, like someone's there, and we're talking to them. Yeah, that's how I've always imagined it. Like that's why, like even now, sometimes I'm like pretend like there's a person there that I'm talking to. Like there's like 5 people here to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how Is that how you?
That's how
see
I feel too. So I think, but it's weird that
we're all
has their own
different.
way.
We all have a different way of it working. I think if I did that, I wouldn't have started.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have started in the first place if I thought I'm putting that on and I thought about that someone might watch
people
it.
Watching,
Then it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas now,
it's kind of a good way of doing it now, because now you have that confidence and now you can do the other part. So it's kind of a good way of doing it, really.
Yeah. Building up. Yeah, building up to getting in front of people.
Yeah.
And now I do speak directly to the camera at the end of every episode, and so there is moments where it feels authentic for me to do that, but I'll only do it when it feels when it feels right.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So have you got anything that you do regularly on your podcast? You know, like we talked about at the end of the podcast, that you have your 3 words and how you wrap it up. There's one thing that I like to do on my podcast that I find really, really quite entertaining for myself, and it opens up a lot of discovery with my guests, is I like to go time traveling. So I like to say to my guests, if there was a place in time that we could go back to, where would it be? And the things that opens up with people is really interesting. And there's always a story that comes from that. So what about you guys individually then? So first with you, Emy, where would you go if we could dial it in right now, anywhere, any space and time, where would it be?
Got a few places in mind, but
okay.
I'll think of one. Well, I think it would be, it's actually not that long ago. I think it's about 2023. Me and my family all, like as in about 13 of us all went to St. Lucia, which was an amazing experience that my nan helped us all be able to get there. And it was just a really nice, like, relaxing holiday, which I know sounds really strange, like, to want to just go back to a holiday. But I think it was like a time where my brain was just I wasn't too stressed out by life. I wasn't too, like, thinking about anything too much. And it was just a nice experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And whenever anyone asks me what I want, where I'd want to be right now, it's always back in St. Lucia, back over there again.
Yeah, it's a happy, nice time.
What was the feeling in that time? What was it? What did it feel like? How was it different to now?
It was just like, obviously the weather helped a lot. Not gonna lie, the rum helped a lot as well. But it was like a nice, I felt at ease. Like, which I don't know how to explain, but at the moment and like in life, I feel like everything is so tense and stressful, and I just feel so, if you know what I mean. And it just felt like a time that I didn't have to worry about any of that. And I think it's nice to have in your head a place that you can go and disappear to when things are getting too hard, if that makes sense.
And so with that past version of yourself, if you could like interact with that past version of Emy, what would you say to her then? What would you have any kind of conversation?
I'd just say, because I know things are about to get really tough. Don't want to get emotional. I know things are about to get really tough, and I think that you just need to keep that feeling, and you just got to keep that feeling and kind of be you, and whatever happens. Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, girl.
And what about for you, Shannon?
Well, I'm gonna like change the feels a little bit.
Go on, yes.
Does it have to be in my time, or can it be any time?
This is your time machine. You take this wherever you want to go.
I would go back to when 2 people in my life, I won't say who, just 2 special people in my life. I would like to go back to when they had a very difficult time in their life, and possibly try to guide them in a certain way where certain situations didn't occur. If that makes any sense at all.
I'm getting a round picture of
Yeah,
this. Yeah.
so they won't mind me. So my parents had a very difficult childhood, and like not even just childhood, just they've had a difficult life, and I would wish that I could have gave them what they've given me when they were my age. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Because
So what did they give? What did they give you?
well, oh my gosh, hope, confidence, love, so much love, so much love. And they had a different kind of love. This is just what they've told me. And their parents and whoever they had did not do anything wrong, but it was just different, and they had a very difficult time, and I've been given something very different, and from both of them I have been given so much love and support and kindness, and I'm able to be whoever I want to be, and I'm very, very lucky, and I just wish that I could have given that to them, because not to get like really deep, but I'm very, very happy and I'm very lucky. And the one thing that would make it my life so much better would be if they were both happy too. You know? So if I could change that, that would be my
So what would you say to them, or what would you do to help move it in a different direction?
gosh. I would just, if I could be someone else, I just want to be that person that was always there for them and that gave them that hope and that gave them that confidence to be who they wanted to be. I would want to praise them all the time and give them as much love as possible, because I think that's all they need. I think that's that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I keep hearing this recently on the podcast about love, and that's all we need.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. The Beatles said it.
In any
And-
way, shape or form, in
Yeah.
any way, from parents, from relationships, anywhere, from friendships. Do you know what I mean? It's anywhere, from pets.
Yeah,
It's
it all
so
comes. It all
important.
comes back to that love.
Yeah,
I think it's the most powerful force in the universe,
absolutely.
and we need to use it more and be more
Yeah.
open with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like no one really knows what love is.
Mm.
Like,
Whoa.
do you know what I mean? Though,
Yeah, yeah.
like thinking about it, because it's just confusing and it hurts and it doesn't hurt and it's amazing and it's all of these things, and there's so many. When you say love, you might be saying something completely different to
We've
what
all
I'm
got our
thinking
own
of.
kind of opinion of it, haven't we?
Yeah, I hear this stuff about love languages as well. Everyone's got a different
Yeah.
love language, so a different interpretation of what it means to each of us.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's like, obviously, even in like relationships, there's like the physical touch and all of that kind of
Yes,
stuff.
yeah.
But like, I feel like I'm that with like friendships as well. Because like, you know how I've always been like, are you a hugger? Do you hug? Like, if you're feeling down, can I come and hug you, or would you rather not? Like, I'm kind of like that. Because I mean, if I'm down, you get over it and give me a
Yeah.
hug, you know. But some people don't like that. They like their own space. So I think everyone has their own type of way of dealing with things and receiving things from other people as well, and having that love. Because otherwise, there's loneliness. So, and that's what matters.
I think love has got something to do with us doing something together
Yeah.
and connection.
Yeah.
I think it's got something to do with all of us.
Yeah.
That's what it is for me. It's something about the collective of us,
I like that.
rather than
Yeah, I
just
like that too.
rather than just being about me.
Yeah. Did I talk too much about me just then?
No, not at all. That's
I didn't tap you. You're all right.
Always worried I'll say something wrong.
And so, have we got a place where we'd go to in the future? Would we perhaps? I'm wondering. Would we perhaps take your parents, take the younger versions of yourself into the time machine and bring them to somewhere now? Is there somewhere where you'd like to visit that would help make those changes and help make those feelings different?
I actually feel like I'd like to bring people, anyone, just like whoever wanted to come into the time machine, into our shed.
Yes.
into our little comfy place.
That's such a good
Like,
answer.
I just feel like having bringing everyone into that.
Let's all just squeeze in.
Oh yeah, everyone, hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah, well, but they could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
we could
literally
make it
could do
happen.
that with your podcast. You know, over time.
Slowly
You
but
know,
surely.
I never imagined 30 months ago the it's like thousands of people that I've spoken to on the podcast now.
Yeah.
Like, and how that can happen, and how many like hundreds of thousands of people could go and visit your shed. You know,
Yeah.
once you open the doors and you welcome them in, and you use that power of love without getting too corny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just like, come this way. People will want to join.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think it's just such a nice place that we've created for ourselves that other people would feel that it would. And no, sorry, that I'm excited that other people get to come and just be us. Like everyone always, whenever I ask someone if they want to come on it, they panic about. They're like, oh, I don't want to talk. I don't want to be interviewed.
Yeah.
I don't want that. And I'm like, no, just come in for a chat. That's all we're doing. We're just
chatting.
gonna have some cake and chat. That's
Yeah.
literally it.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the worst thing in the world is to be interviewed. I've struggled for a long time where I've started having to fill out application forms where I'm going to festivals and things, and I'm like, what is my job title? Because like
Yeah.
podcaster isn't on there, and I don't, and like sometimes broadcaster is, but often interviewer is the only thing. But I don't feel like these are interviews.
Yeah.
They're just
We're
conversations,
just
aren't
talking,
they?
yeah.
So like conversationalists. Is that a thing?
I mean, you can make it a thing.
But it could be
Add it on.
conversationalist. But yeah,
Friendly chats.
for the guests, like I've only had one person worry sitting in the seat like halfway through and go, oh, like what am I doing? Why am I here? And have a bit of an existential crisis. But after we had a cup of tea and we carried on, we ended up recording 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like it was because it's just talking, it's
Yeah.
just connecting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think sometimes, like, don't get me wrong, I was absolutely terrified because it's such a, a different setup to our podcast, and even in just being in a new environment is a bit scary. So even sitting here, like, I find my brain just goes blank, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to talk about now because it's a different environment, isn't it? So it is a bit scary,
But it's
but
also,
it's also, sorry, once we start talking, it's like, oh, I'm just sitting
we're just
in
sitting
my
having
living
a-
room.
We're just
having a chat.
we're just here having a chat. And one of the things that, again, I'll give it another thing that's helps me with that is not being afraid of the pause, not being afraid of like silence.
Ah, see, I'm very afraid of silence.
Yeah,
You know that.
like
I hate silence.
like it's okay.
Yeah.
Like we could try it. We could try it now. Like it was fine. Yeah.
I'm terrible. I'm so bad. Like, even when I'm like performing, I'm like, if I'm like hosting something, I will just talk and talk and talk, and sometimes it doesn't even make sense. But it's just covered the space.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to start enjoying silence.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
We're often told when we're putting like social media content and podcasts out, and I've been to a lot of talks about podcasts and things now, and they'll always say, "Yeah, cut out all the gaps, cut out all the gaps."
Yeah.
But I think that's where the drama is. I think that's where like the power is. I think that's when someone says something, and then they go. That little moment is where everyone hangs on. You know, if we're going back to that audience thing, if you think about performing when you're on the stage, and you're saying your lines, if you just reel them off really really fast, your audience just get lost.
True. Yeah.
But if you slow it down and we just wait, your audience hang. Your audience sit on the edge of their seat, wanting to know what's next. So I say leave the pause in.
She's so
That's
awkward
so
right
much
now.
to say. Yeah, it takes a getting used to.
It does. It's not natural. It's not, but it is okay.
Yeah. I think in my mind, like, because I have a bit of anxiety, so if there's silence, my brain starts to go, should I be talking now? Do I need to think of something to say? What have I done wrong? Wait, is he looking at me like this? Wait, is she? That's literally like, it would just go. So that's why I fill in the silence. But it's a progress.
Do you do it to make that quiet, or do you do it
I don't know.
like?
It
Do
just
you know what I
happens.
mean? Like, are you? If you start talking, does the other bit quieten down?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I start talking, it'll go away.
So that's probably
Yeah.
why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I want to enjoy the silence.
Silent, like the inner monologue. Is that the thing then? Is that what starts to go off?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
You know how like the mind likes to play tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start telling you
It
stories.
likes to do things like that sometimes.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we both, and I'm sure lots of other people struggle with. It's like not, and I think that's something that we have mentioned quite a few times, is that not giving in to what your brain is telling you, because sometimes it's going to be putting you down, and sometimes it's going to be telling you all the things that you know are not true, and that we sit here and tell the world, oh, don't worry about that, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And then we go back
go
and we do
back.
exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just the realistic part of it.
Mm.
What we
And
do.
and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to be authentic. We're trying to be truthful.
Oh yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And that's the I think the best way to share.
Yeah. I mean, it's been pretty clear. It's been pretty authentic here. I mean, my
Yeah.
phone's gone off. I think I've burped in the microphone a few times.
That's all right.
You like,
That's
pretty
fine.
much. Anyway.
I was wondering,
Okay.
on our podcast, I'm sure as you have listened to it, you know, we like to sit and have some cake and talk about a mistake. So
Okay.
can we do that now?
We can. I would love to.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you give us a mistake?
Right. Oh,
Should we go first so that you have a minute to think about one, or have you got one in your head?
Do you know what? I don't often get asked questions, so yeah, that's cool. Mistake.
Yeah, shall we
Ooh.
grab-
Yeah, let's grab some cake, and I'm sure a mistake will come to mind.
Have you got one, Shannon, or not? Did you
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to have a chat about your mistake?
Yes, I can.
Have you got
Yes.
Eating on camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that down then. Yes, my mistake is when I did my first performing contract. I was with a agent, and I went about it the wrong way. Having an agent, I basically, the moral of the story is I listened to people that I wasn't really familiar with at the time, but I took more of their advice than someone who I knew of. I knew of them longer than the other people. I took some advice which I shouldn't have really took, and I did the wrong thing and kind of got myself in a little bit of trouble with an agent, and made a little mistake with that. I basically, I mean, like I say, I didn't pay them when I thought I wasn't obliged to, but I was. And it got me in a little bit of trouble, and I had to pay them back. And yeah, that's my mistake.
Was that one of those things where you had a contract with an agent?
Yeah. So I had a performing contract, and I think in my head it was just I was in a job contract, my first ever one, and it was. I just had so many people in my ear telling me like, you don't need this, you don't need an agent, you don't, and I was young, and I was like, yeah, you're right, and and they were just like, you shouldn't be paying this person this, and to be honest, like, there was nothing on the agent, like the agent was great, like obviously we could all have done better, but yeah, I listened to those people, and I left the agent, and I refused to pay for a while, and I shouldn't have really done that, really, because I still had to end up paying, and I should have paid because I had a contract with them. So, so I just should have followed my gut, really, with that. And that was my mistake.
And
Yeah.
is that something that you kind of learnt from now?
Absolutely. Yeah, because I follow my gut, definitely. And also, I know how contracts work.
And you
now.
check the contract.
Check the contract.
Check what you've signed.
Not just what other people. And these people were older than me. I was 19.
Doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything, exactly.
definitely not.
But in my head at the time, I was like, well, they're older. They probably got more life experience than me. I was 19 years old, nearly turning 20. And I just thought, listen to the older kids and, but yeah. So just need to trust myself, really, which I definitely think I've already learned from, because I've had so many situations where they've been a bit tricky, but I've made the right decision because I followed my gut instead of listening to, others, because they, as much as they've got your best interest at heart, I've got to do what I want to do,
Yeah.
So that was mine.
Sounds like something you've definitely learned from.
Yeah, I definitely have.
Yeah.
Pay your agent.
Yeah, but pay your agent, but maybe and check your contract and
Check your contract.
And
Yeah.
the fine print.
and the fine print. I have a thing against agents, actually, and the way that they work. I think there's a lot out there. There obviously are going to be some good ones, but I've had similar issues with agents in the past. That I'd signed a contract with an agent that wanted money from me from other work that I sourced myself.
Yeah,
And sent me a bill as I'd done work for a family member on a film, and they sent me a bill for the work assuming that I got paid. But it was I didn't get paid anything because I just did it as a favour for a family member.
Yeah, it can be cheeky.
And so that and I think that's holding a lot of actors back, is that those kind of contracts that trap you in a you have to just send money your way every time you do your thing.
And when you don't know, when you're young and you're first into it all, you don't know whether like which
What's right or wrong.
what's wrong and what's right.
Yeah, exactly. And I said this on the previous podcast we just filmed, actually. I was saying, because I had a situation before where basically the industry can be a bit scary sometimes, because obviously us as performers, we really want to get that, we want to get a job, like we really want to get out there, and it's very hard to get out there. So we kind of take anything at first. And sometimes some people that offer those jobs like to take advantage of that and might not pay you or might not treat you in the best way of manner. So I think it's really important that we always make sure we do our research on things, and just be careful and read the contract. Because, you can make that tiny mistake. Get someone to read it with you. Get a few people to read it, so you've all got a few.
Check what you're signing up for.
Yeah,
100%.
because it's very important. Yeah. But yeah.
And so, what about you, Emy? I'm excited to hear what you've got.
Well, my mistake's a bit of a just a silly one, really.
Go for it.
So I obviously we said we were doing a show, and we're doing some. Actually,
What we doing? Are you going back on what you were going to say?
yeah, I am.
You're
I've just
changing it up.
realised Can't say that one.
Oh no.
No, hang on. Let me just think of another one then.
Okay.
No.
I know. Okay, so I went shopping.
Isn't it great how many mistakes we have that we can just jump to another one?
I
While
have-
I've been listening to you, I've been going about through 3 or 4 in my
Yeah,
mind.
you
It's
do.
amazing, isn't it? And you never think there's so many mistakes. Anyway, so I went shopping and I picked up some. I can't remember what it was. It was like a juice off the side, and I didn't look. And normally I'm really like observant and I kind of take in everything that I'm doing. But this time I was just speeding through the shop and I picked it up and the lid wasn't on right. And when I say I picked up this juice and it fell out of my hand, hit the floor and went everywhere. I mean, like across the floor, up the side of all the other drinks and everything, and absolutely soaked it all. And normally, as I say, I'm very observant. Don't know why I didn't look this time, but it's definitely taught me to just go back to my roots and look at what I'm doing.
Double check.
Yeah, double check, because I feel so sorry. And the worker wouldn't let me clean it up because they were like, "That's my job," and I was like, "I want to clean it. I want to help you." But yeah, it was just a silly little mistake that I made.
But also, why aren't their lids tight enough at a shop?
Yeah.
I have no.
Actually, maybe that
technically,
wasn't your mistake
That
at all.
wasn't really a mistake, because they should have tightened their lid.
I mean, I did also drop it, so like it slipped through, and maybe I opened the lid. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, the lid came off. It dropped.
Right.
Went everywhere, and yeah, but that is true. Maybe it wasn't me.
Yeah, and you can't really help. You might not have a steady hand. You just was you carrying other stuff?
Yeah, and it's probably heavy. Probably.
Okay, so
I've got
what's the
weak
mistake here?
Don't carry too much.
Get a basket.
Oh, get a
Yeah,
basket.
Get a basket.
Oh my goodness.
We've all made that
Yeah.
mistake where we go shopping
And you're
and then
piling
you
it all. You're
realise
piling it
you
all
should have
up
got
in
a
your arms.
basket.
I should know this because I work at a shop, but
Yeah.
no, I still do it. I still
Oh
do
yeah,
it.
I've just remembered that. I see you in there recently, didn't I?
Saw you in the petrol station.
That was it. Yep.
No way. Love that.
But yeah, so that was my mistake.
Okay.
Are you having
Nice.
some cake, or are you not going to?
I'm going to leave it for
I've
now. My
I've
stomach's
finished
making
my
noises.
cake. I downed that.
Good.
So,
Would you
like
want
I've had
some
an
of that one?
all-round dinner tonight. The Pringles, the Milky Way buttons, and now chocolate cake.
Why not?
Beautiful.
Like
Treat yourself.
it's got all the ingredients you need, right? You're part of your 5 a day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your chocolate.
Yeah.
Your
Chocolate,
carbs, and
yeah.
your chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely
All
my favorite
fine.
day.
Apparently, as well, Pringles aren't really crisps. Apparently, there's not enough quantity of potato in them to be crisps.
What is it
that's
made of
sad.
then?
They're powder that are then
That
reformed.
makes sense.
They're
Doesn't taste like powder.
potato powder So there is an element of potato, but there's just so many ingredients.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going on a side
It's not
tangent
really a
here.
potato.
But it's
I
not
love that.
really a potato. It's just
That makes
yeah.
sense because it's not really. It is quite dusty.
Yeah, that's
isn't
how
it?
they get them that perfect
Yeah.
that perfect shape as well.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm just avoiding telling you my mistake.
I
now.
want to know your mistake.
Yes, go.
Come on.
Did you? Oh, you got me.
So I think I have shared this previously because it's one of the biggest mistakes of my life, like most dangerous mistakes of my life. So you ready for this? I one night took a dangerous combination of drugs, and it unfolded things in a way I never could have imagined. Are you ready for this?
Go.
So one night, and I'm going to start this with don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. Yeah, so there's no advocating of the use of drugs here. Remember this, drugs are bad. Okay? But one night, I'm digging in the garden and I'm digging a hole like to put some plants down or something, and I hit a rock as I'm digging, and it sent like a shiver up my arm. I was like a cartoon character, you know, when they go doing like that, and it sent this shiver up my arm and up my neck, and I was in so much pain in my neck, and I took some paracetamol, I took some ibuprofen, and it was doing nothing. And it's not like the kind of thing you go to A&E for. Oh, my neck's hurting. So I took ibuprofen, paracetamol, and then at the time my wife was going through cancer. And so she had some harder drugs. She had tramadol. So I took some tramadol as well, and still wasn't even touching the sides of this like pain in my neck. So I took some amitriptyline to add to that. So they're quite high dose painkillers. And yeah, no, it wasn't helping at all. Now, one of the things that did help her through her cancer was edible cannabis. And she had this like fruit winder type thing. That you were supposed to have like a like, I didn't know this, but you're supposed to have like that much was like one bit of this edible cannabis. So I had that, nothing. I had another bit, nothing. I had like the whole thing. And within about 5 minutes, I was ready to kill myself. like we're going like you're both like what the like I had these the voices in my head started getting really, really loud, and I was clearly very upset. That was the lonely period of my life where I felt lonely, and I felt like I was a failure from all the jobs that had gone wrong and hadn't been a success with all the achievements you're supposed to have by the time you're in your late 30s. You know, I didn't tick any of those: buying a house, buying the cars, but I didn't feel like I'd done all the society ticking boxes, and it was getting me down. My wife was going through cancer treatment. My dog's like gonna die any day. Like, he's really old. He's like 14 years old. So I just felt like the world was on top of me. But then this voice in my head went, you can get out of all this pain if you just die. And it was like, right, okay, so now I'm gonna go and find like a train track or something, or like I'm gonna end this now. Like it's enough. And this is why drugs are bad, and you should check what you're taking before you do that. And so my wife said, like, she tried to look after me. She was like, just chill out, go and take a shower. And so I went into the shower, and I started melting. Like, I started physically melt. Like, I could see I looked in the mirror and I could see my skin like draining away and draining down. Like, it was almost like Alice in Wonderland, like draining down the plug hole. And then, like, I was like, oh, this is like super bad now. So it's like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and my parents are quite old. And I phoned my mum up, and I'm like, Mum, I've done some drugs. Can you come and help me? And she was like, there. My mum and dad were there so quick. And my dad took me to the hospital. And something happened in the hospital. There's so much that happened this night. I can't even begin to tell you all of it. But while I was in the hospital, I kind of like the bright lights woke me up and settled me down a little bit. And I didn't feel like that that paranoia and that wanting to die anymore. And then my dad took me home to his house, which was my childhood bedroom, and I just went on the bed and I went and had a journey to other realms, to other dimensions. That I started off in hell and explored hell first, and then a guide came and showed me what heaven could look like, and we went on a journey that lasted 100 years from there, which that big mistake and everything that bad happened then turned into actually something good, because I explored in that night my entire life, and I understood more than I did before, and I went through all them feeling alone feelings, and this, truly discovered why I'm not alone, and discovered how I would make that better, and I understood what my purpose was in life in one night.
Wow.
And so, so from my biggest and most dangerous mistake, the next morning after this long time away in other dimensions, I came back and was almost like feeling reborn and
Wow.
afresh. And I woke up the next morning and my dad was like, "You all right?" And I was like, "Yep."
Gosh.
Like,
Wow.
yeah, like
That's insane.
this is fine. This is good.
And that night you said that you went into like other dimensions. You just like went through so much in your head, like you.
So it doesn't. It didn't. The strange thing, it didn't feel like it was in my head. It didn't feel like a dream. It didn't feel like a story. It felt like my inner being went from here to somewhere else.
Right.
It went. So yeah. So I went to hell first, and I discovered that for me, hell would be all of those bad feelings. It wasn't what you saw, like how it's always depicted in stories, the devil and
Yeah.
burning fire. It
Yeah.
wasn't any of that. It was just depression, loneliness,
Yeah.
sadness, all at the extremes, and all consuming and all crushing and drowning within feelings,
Yeah.
until a voice came and said, like, you can choose to stay here. You can choose to live your life in that space and end up here at the end, or you can take a look over this side and experience the other feelings, experience the happiness, experience the love, the joy, the sharing, the connection. But all you have to do is just turn yourself very slightly and look this way. And as I did, I felt this sense of euphoria, and that's when it started to become kind of more visible. And this guide was he was like a vibration, and he was very big at one moment, like he was the planetary stars, and I was nothingness. And I vividly remember moments going to my guide, "I don't understand how I can hear you because I have no ears." And he was like, "Yeah, we talk through feeling.
Oh.
We don't have a mouth anymore. We don't have ears anymore. We just feel, and we communicate through feeling." And I was like, "Okay, this is going to take some getting used to." And I remember my guide, I'd be asking him like questions like, "Am I dead?" And he'd just like laugh at me. But it wasn't laughter in the way we laugh at each other.
Yeah.
It was that laughter feeling that would
Wow.
come from that. And then it got more visual, and I went over to this field of unicorns.
That sounds cool.
I went over to a field of like I'm at this place for 100 years, so I'm not going to tell you everything that went on. But yeah, I went over to a field of unicorns, and I was like, "There's unicorns! Wow!" Like, and my guy was like, "Yeah, of course there's unicorns." And I was like, but why are there unicorns? And it's like, well, don't worry about the why so much. There are unicorns, and there are unicorns where you exist as well. And that was a moment where I was like, no, there's not. No, this is definitely not real now, because they're not unicorns. And he was like, there are, and your job is to look after the unicorns. I was like, but how do I do that? And so that was like one of the first like things I was told, that that's my purpose, is to look out for the
Look after
unicorn
unicorns.
ones. And do you know what? I see them now.
So
I don't see them in the sense that I see you two sitting here as unicorns
yeah.
physically, but things happen to me now that I'll meet someone, say at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and they'll be doing a show, and in that show, randomly they'll start talking about unicorns and the effect that unicorns have on them. And I'll be like, "You're one."
Do you know how many goosebumps I'm getting right now,
This
man?
is so fascinating.
Sorry, it's deep, isn't it? It's deep,
Wow.
but yeah. So
That's crazy.
That's such an amazing thing that you recognize that it was a mistake to have it, but you had this huge positive spin on it that other people might not have taken from it because they will just remember the bad bits. But you started talking about it and you went straight into the positives, and I think that's a really great outlook to have on it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think that's that's like one of the that's the huge takeaway from it, is that yes, there are horrible things in this world and in this life, but there is the opportunity to look at the good stuff as well.
yeah,
It is all here.
Yeah.
It is all very much. I believe in balance. I've always, I'm a Libra, and I've always believed from that in balance. And I've always had this, this idea of like scales and balancing things off in life, and yin and yang.
Yeah.
That's always been a strong belief of mine, but even more so since that experience, that there is as much negative and there is as to positive. And it's your choice or my choice in which side I'm going to lean,
Yeah.
in which side I'm going to be more part of. And just like yin and yang, the symbol of yin and yang,
Yeah.
the circle. Well, even in the positive side, there's still a little bit of dark,
Mm-hmm.
isn't
yeah,
there? So like you're never going to escape it fully.
Yeah.
yeah,
And it needs to be there to balance, to help with that balance.
yeah,
Yeah. And also, like, it's like even with the mistakes you make, they actually end up. There's a reason why you're also making those mistakes. Obviously, some of them really suck,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a reason, and I think that there is a positive that comes out of that. I used to always think. I think I mentioned this on our podcast before. I used to always think that there was good and bad days. I used to think there was a good year and a bad year, and then it was like there was a realization where it was like, no, like sometimes I can start the day and I can feel really rough, and then the end of the day could be amazing. Like it's never just a straight line ever.
it's always wavy.
Yeah.
I often wonder as well, who are we to classify it?
Yeah.
Who are we to make that judgment whether it's been a bad year or a good year?
Yeah.
Because in the moment things can feel good or bad, but it isn't. We don't fully understand it until like time has gone past and we look back.
Yeah.
And I also think, to go full circle, it goes back to school, and you get, you've had a good day today. Yes, you've got all ticks
Yeah.
on your report. Yes, you've got all this good stuff that's happened. Well
Yeah.
done. And that gets drilled into you from a young age. And then you leave school and it's, I've had a good day today because I did everything I said I'd do. And then
Yeah.
if you don't do everything you need to do, it's a bad day. But really, you got out of bed, you did your work, you did your stuff. It was a good day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, though.
Yeah,
That's
thank
really,
you.
I truly
Really-
believe it's really important to
that is
share.
really important to share.
Yeah.
Like,
And like I say, whilst all that kind of that journey, that adventure might sound fascinating, there is still a part of that journey that's very, very dark and very troubling. And if I didn't have the right people around me, I might not be here. Literally, I might not be here today.
Yeah.
Through that mistake.
Yeah.
I might not have made it past that point of I need to go.
Yeah. Wow.
It's tough to share stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the fact that we don't really know each other, and all three of us have just been able to share, and you've felt comfortable enough to give that to us. That's a story that will sit with us now and everyone else.
Yeah.
And I just think that's such a lovely thing to be able to have, even though it was a horrible mistake. it's still led to this point. It's still led to you having this podcast, having us here, having other people here. And I love that.
Yeah,
appreciate
and that's
that. Thank you.
amazing that you managed to turn that around. I think I couldn't imagine what it's like to be in that place. And I know some people are in that place not just because of, you know, what they've taken. But I think it's such a brave, it's such an amazing, incredible thing to be able to turn that around, because it's not easy.
No, it's really not. Especially when you're there, and you know, and even all this whole we talk about listening in helps us and things. Even when you're listening in,
Oh, sometimes
you
it's
don't,
so
you don't,
hard.
you don't want to listen because it does feel like nobody gets it.
Yeah,
Nobody understands.
yeah.
But
Have
and
you,
it,
sorry.
no, go on.
No, I was going to say, have you ever had a time where something's just like clicked, like you've had like a down, not this isn't obviously not what happened in your situation, but it just made me think about, like, because I've had a time where I was at a very, very low point and something happened that wasn't great, and I went for a really low time, and then I had like a few weeks of just doing nothing, missed work, skipped everything,
Yeah.
and then I just had this one morning where I went outside and I was like, okay, I'm done now, I'm ready to get back out. And it was just like a random click. Have you ever had anything like that?
Yeah, I have. And weirdly enough, it was you that clicked me out of it. So, so that's,
Stop.
yeah. But I think things can get kind of confusing and hard. And I think you can really focus on that point of it. So stepping out of it can feel like it's really hard.
Yeah.
And if you have, everyone always says, reach out, talk to someone. That's not always the easiest thing. If you've got someone that doesn't even know what's happening in your life, but it says, hey, do you want to go do this? It really helps. And then I think if anyone out there is listening and is struggling, or even if you know someone that you're thinking, I don't know whether they're struggling or not, give them a ring, give them a text, give them a call. You don't know what that could do for them.
Yeah.
It happened to me the other day actually, and I was having a moment of exhaustion, a moment of can I keep doing this moment, a moment of that I just laid there on the bed and was like, I just don't know, like and I just laid there probably for about an hour, maybe even two, and I started getting on that scroll on TikTok.
Dangerous.
Yeah, I started going down that rabbit hole,
Yep.
and it wasn't making me feel better, that's for sure, until I was interrupted by a friend calling me.
Yeah.
Until a friend called Jim. Jim's one of my main listeners.
Yes, Jim.
Jim called, and he didn't call for any reason at all, other than just like normal chat. But it was enough for me to go, I don't need to be in this space anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need to be in this space of self-doubt and worry and overthinking things. I just needed to rest for a moment,
Yeah.
and now I need to keep moving.
Yeah. Gosh, it's so strange, isn't it?
Yeah. I have to say though, just while you were speaking, I feel so lucky and proud to be able to just like be in this room and talk about this.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, I just feel really at my, I don't know, I feel like, I don't know how I got here, but I just feel really, really grateful that I got to listen to that
In
That's
person
really
as well.
nice. Yeah, it's really, really, really nice. It really, you learn so much from just a talk, from just a chat.
Yeah, you do.
Like,
Yeah, no, this is connection. This is
yeah,
yeah,
beautiful.
This is love.
yeah, this is love. No, and that's and it is, and that was a lot of my discovery that night.
Yeah,
None of this world and none of this what I want to go through is about me. It's about all of us.
yeah.
And so let's make it about all of us. Let's bring as many of us together as we can.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that brings me on to my big question that I now finish all these conversations with, because I've discovered through doing this is the purpose, this question, and because we all have a different answer on it. We all have a different story that's led us to a point that we can go, oh, that's what I'd do. And so for both of you individually, first of all, how would you And Emy, if you'd like to go first, how would you make this a better world?
That is a big question. I think there's a lot of things that need to kind of be sorted, which are kind of impossible to sort. And I actually think that by focusing on kind of myself and other people focusing on themselves and making them the best person that they can be, we're going to then have loads of the best people that they can be. And they're going to be people that are in tune with others, that can chat with others. And I think it's kind of like just making sure that you are being the best person that you can be, because that's all that can really help, I think, personally. I don't know if that makes much sense at all,
does.
No, it
but
does, yeah.
just, hey, to be cheesy, be you. Like, literally, be you, and everyone needs to be them.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know who you are, whatever you're doing is enough. And I think that's probably the thing, is what you are is enough, so be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mine, I mean, it's quite similar to that. Mine would be, I said before about, oh my gosh, being open-minded. I think if I could make everybody in the world open-minded, there'd be less fights, there'd be less hate, there'd be less arguments. We could all just talk and learn new things without any hate. That's what I would just want. I love learning. I love, even if I don't necessarily agree with something, I mean, I think I can say this, I'm not religious, but I actually find it really interesting, and I love listening to people that are. I love, like, please don't, force me to be a part, but I love to listen, I love to support, and I think we should all be like that. I think we should all be talking about things we might not all agree on, but we can have a debate, but a nice, healthy debate, and that's what I would love the world to be like. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both so much for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
This has been wonderful. I
nice.
truly appreciate it, and I'm truly grateful as well for this moment and this space
Yeah.
that we're all
So
in.
lovely.
So keep doing the podcast. I'm looking forward to keep following your journey.
Yes, we will.
I'm looking forward to seeing where you go next and what guests you get in the shed. So how do people find you if they wanna seek out your podcast, or they want to join in on the shed or come on one of your adventures? How do we connect?
You can take this. You're the social media one.
So we are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and we're literally called Two Chocolate Cakes, all spelled out, Two Chocolate Cakes and Their Mistakes. So literally search that up and we will come straight up. We've got a beautiful little purple logo with two chocolate cakes. You won't miss us. And yeah, we're all over the place. We're on YouTube, and you can listen to us on Spotify as well. So
wonderful.
yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again. And this is the point where we talk to the camera, the bit that I'm not so great at. Thank you so much for joining us. We truly appreciate you. And that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Well done. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.